Deep Work: Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World by Cal Newport. Full summary. Do you find yourself constantly distracted, jumping between emails, social media, and a dozen open tabs? Is your ability to concentrate for extended periods diminishing? What if the key to producing your best work and finding true fulfillment lies in cultivating an increasingly rare skill: the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task? Welcome back to Brainy Bytes. Today we're diving into Cal Newport's influential book, Deep Work: Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World. Published in 2016, Newport argues that in our hyper-connected, information-saturated economy, the ability to perform deep work is becoming both increasingly valuable and increasingly rare. He defines deep work as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. These efforts create new value, improve your skill, and are hard to replicate. The book contrasts this with shallow work, which describes non-cognitively demanding, logistical-style tasks, often performed while distracted. Newport's goal isn't just to define these terms, but to provide a compelling case for why deep work matters and to offer actionable rules for cultivating this skill in a world that seems designed to prevent it. Deep work is valuable, rare, and meaningful. Before diving into the rules, Newport establishes why deep work is so critical. First, deep work is valuable. In our new economy, those who can master hard things quickly and produce at an elite level will thrive. Both of these abilities depend on deep work.
Brainy
Second,
Bytes.
deep work is rare. Modern workplace trends like open offices, instant messaging, and the expectation of constant connectivity actively discourage deep work in favor of shallow, easily quantifiable busyness. Third, deep work is meaningful. Newport draws on psychological and philosophical arguments to show that a life dedicated to depth and craftsmanship is often a more fulfilling and satisfying one than a life lived in a constant state of fragmented attention. The book is structured into two parts. First, making the case for deep work, and second, presenting 4 practical rules to help you embrace it. Let's explore those rules. The 4 rules for deep work. Rule 1: work deeply. This rule focuses on integrating deep work into your schedule by choosing a depth philosophy and ritualizing your efforts. Newport suggests that you can't just hope deep work happens. You need to systematically build routines and rituals around it. He outlines several depth philosophies. First, the monastic approach, which involves minimizing or eliminating shallow obligations almost entirely to maximize deep work. This is for those whose work is almost purely deep. Second, the bimodal approach, where you divide your time, dedicating clearly defined stretches for deep pursuits and leaving the rest open for everything else. For example, dedicating several full days or even weeks purely to deep work. Third, the rhythmic approach, which involves transforming deep work sessions into a regular chain-like habit. For example, setting aside the same 90-minute block each morning for deep work. Fourth, the journalistic approach, where you fit deep work in wherever you can find an opening in your schedule. Newport notes this is often the hardest for novices, as it requires a strong ability to switch into deep mode quickly. Beyond choosing a philosophy, ritualizing deep work is key. This means deciding where you'll work, for how long, how you'll work once you start, and how you'll support your work, for instance, with specific food, drink, or exercise. Rule 2. Embrace boredom. This rule argues that your ability to concentrate deeply is a skill that needs to be trained, much like a muscle. If you constantly give in to distraction and seek novelty at the slightest hint of boredom, you'll erode your capacity for deep work. Newport advises scheduling your internet use and giving your mind regular breaks from stimuli. Instead of constantly checking your phone or email, practice productive meditation by focusing on a single, well-defined professional problem while doing something physical but not mentally taxing, like walking or showering. The key is to resist the urge for constant distraction and to become comfortable with periods of boredom, allowing your mind to strengthen its concentration muscles. Don't take breaks from distraction. Instead, take breaks from focus. Rule 3. Quit social media. Newport offers a controversial but compelling argument for a more deliberate approach to network tools like social media. He suggests adopting an any-benefit mindset, where we use a tool if it offers any perceived benefit, is a flawed approach. Instead, he proposes the Craftsman approach to tool selection. This involves identifying your high-level goals, both professional and personal, then listing the key activities that help you achieve them. Only then should you evaluate a network tool by asking if its positive impacts on these key activities substantially outweigh its negative impacts. He also recommends putting a 30-day pause on distracting services to assess their true value rather than just assuming they are indispensable. The goal isn't to be a Luddite, but to be intentional about the tools you allow to fragment your time and attention. Rule 4. Drain the shallows. This rule focuses on minimizing the amount of shallow work that consumes your day, thereby freeing up more time and energy for deep work. Shallow work is unavoidable, but it should be managed and contained. Newport suggests several tactics. Schedule every minute of your day. This doesn't mean rigid adherence, but having a plan helps you be intentional. Quantify the depth of your activities. Try to understand how much time you're actually spending on deep versus shallow tasks. Ask your boss for a shallow work budget. This means clarifying expectations about how much of your time should be spent on non-deep activities. Finish your work by a fixed time each day, for example, 5:30 p.m. This creates a sense of urgency and forces you to be more efficient. Become hard to reach. Set clear expectations about email response times and resist the urge to be constantly available. This protects your focused blocks. Application and key takeaways. So, how can we cultivate the ability to work deeply in our own lives? 1. Identify your deep work philosophy. This relates to Rule 1. Decide how you will integrate deep work sessions into your schedule, whether monastically, bimodally, rhythmically, or journalistically. 2. Ritualize your
Brainy
deep
Bytes.
work. This also relates to Rule 1. Create specific routines for where, when, and how you'll conduct your deep work sessions to minimize friction. 3. Train your concentration. This is about embracing boredom. Resist constant distraction, schedule internet use, and practice focusing your attention. 4. Be intentional with technology. This relates to quitting social media. Evaluate tools based on their significant net positive impact on your core goals, not just any benefit. 5. Minimize shallow work. This is about draining the shallows. Schedule your day, quantify your work's depth, and set boundaries to protect your focus. 6. Value downtime. Newport emphasizes that regular rest and disengagement from work are crucial for recharging the mental batteries needed for deep work. Deep work is a call to reclaim our focus and engage in the kind of demanding, valuable work that leads to true mastery and fulfillment. It's a skill that requires deliberate practice but promises significant rewards in an increasingly distracted world. If you found this summary valuable, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Brainy Bytes, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future summaries. We're building a community dedicated to learning and growth. Love these quick dives into great books? Help keep them coming by buying me a coffee through the link below. Your support makes it easier for me to keep reading, researching, and creating content you'll love. And speaking of great books, what productivity or personal development book should I explore next? Let me know your suggestions in the comments. Your input drives the channel. Thanks for watching.